What is going on, guys? Casual Kasaki here, and we're going to be trying something new in Black Desert Online. It's a great MMO. I'll leave a link in it to the description, so if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. But if you have, which I'm going to presume you have because you're coming here because this is going to be a guide, is we're going to explain the basics of workers, contribution points, and crafting from a sort of relatively new player standpoint, and sort of what I've noticed as I've played for the past week. Crafting in this game, it isn't all your character. If anything, the most of your character will be doing at all, if you get involved, is gathering, and then cooking and alchemy. They are the ones your character will personally be doing in your home, which I'll explain. Other stuff like metalworking, woodworking, even up to shipping wagons, which you can get much later, which I won't explain because I've not reached. I'll be explaining basic cooking and generally gathering to make sort of money to keep you going at the start of the game. All you're going to need for this sort of, I say, guide, is 4 contribution points. As you can see, I've got 22. It is across all of your characters, as are your workers, amongst other things. I believe your storage is as well. Storage is important. I'll explain how in a moment. The first thing you want to do is get your 4 contribution points and go to Velia, which is right here. You start up there in Old Via Town, and you'll come this way to Velia. Velia is important because it's surrounded by places where you can farm potatoes, which is going to be what we're doing today. When you've got your 4 contribution points, you can find one of these. For example, I'm number 2-3 Velia, which is sort of in the back route here. But there's quite a few around town, especially if you've not owned property, which I've already got. So you can click on purchase, and that will zoom in. And for example, as you see, the white ones are the ones I own. I own quite a bit, but that's not what we're looking at. You want to go to one that's blue. It doesn't matter which one. My suggestion is number 3-1 for Velia. All you want to buy is a residence. The reason why I say 3-1 is because since we're going to be making beer, you want to be able to get to the tavern quite easily, and the tavern is there. And so you can just walk around the corner rather than have to walk a longer distance. It's all just better if you want to have something else for whatever your own reasons. Go for it. I've got a residence here and a couple of other things which I'll explain later. But once you've done that, that should only cost you 1 point. That house, the 3-1 Velia, will only cost you 1 point as a residence. There's an important reason for having a residence. What we'll do is, as you can see, I've got that residence. So what I'll do is I'll walk over to it. Shouldn't take me that long because it's around the corner. The game likes trying to put me through walls to get to it. But yeah, this is the front door for 3-1 Velia. The tavern is those double doors there, literally round the corner. I believe it's the closest property you can get to the tavern. So when you go inside, this it's normally empty, but this is the only thing you need, which you can buy from the tavern at a cost of 1,000 silver. I'll show you. If we just sprint around like an idiot, that's important for later. Yep. Oh no. This you will be talking to this person a lot. Yeah, it's 10 grand. Not 10 grand. 1,000 coins, which you'll earn quite easily from it. While I'm here, I'm going to quickly just don't worry, don't bother. Yeah, once you want to buy one of those, head back to your residence that you now have. You can do it in the other order. You can buy that and then go to your residence as long as you've got one. Go in, open place mode, and mine's quite bright for some reason. You can put it down. It will appear down here. They do have durability, which will go over time, so you will have to replace them. But hopefully by the time you replace it, you can buy the 50 grand one, which makes things quicker, which I've got to get. I'm going to do once this is broken. Once you've done that, I have a donkey to do this. You may or may not have a mount at this point. However, having one helps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to my donkey. That's all you're going to need in town until you get actually to the farming part. The other main reason you only need just the residence is you have by default 1 lodging point, which essentially are slots for workers, and you don't need to have the lodgings for that. I've got 3 lodgings under my ownership, which means I can have 4 workers. And what you want to do is, on mount or on foot, is you want to head to Logia Farm. So, it's really important to go to. There's either both of these work, Logia or Bartali. You just want to head to them, and mounts generally make it quicker. You can right click on the map and then press T and use the auto run feature. My suggestion is use that. It is useful, very useful indeed. Again, it makes some of the longer, more tedious quests much easier because you can just click, go have a drink, go to the toilet, come back. So as you can see, we are going to make. It usually follows the road, so it may be quicker if you just cut cross country, but for purposes of talking, we'll leave it carrying on. Everything that you can get workers to do, you can gather yourself, so you can kind of double up. However, having workers allows you to go on your quests and fight monsters and do dungeons, whatever other content, as well as still gather and craft. Actually making the beer itself you will have to do, but it doesn't take that long. So what you can do, you'll turn up to. I'm using Logia Farm as an example, and you want to talk to Velia Logia. That's the man. And then click on Node Management. And the important thing here is you can then it will say, for example, I'll just show you because I can withdraw contribution. Yes. You can. This is what you'll see. This is what you'll see when you get here. So contribution points 2. The major thing with contribution points is there are properties you can buy here. You can put a residence here if you want. I say Velia because then you can sell stuff while you're there. It makes it easier for me. You just click your 2 contribution points. You are now contributing to that, and then you can do the same for the crafting node for 1 point. So that's all the points you'll need. That's you invested in Logia Farm with your contribution points. That gives you access to farming potatoes. As you see, I've got multiple workers here. But what I'll do is so once you've done that, we're going to want to head back into town. So I'm going to go off cross country for this. At least, I lied. I'm going to pop the map. This is generally the best way for travelling. As you sort of level up your character, do more quests and generally engage in more of the content, you'll get more contribution points and you can expand the operation into more potatoes. I usually do 2 workers at once, but you can on potatoes, and then I've got the other 2 workers doing other stuff. However, generally, this is a good way of starting because it's cooking experience, and it's actually you can make money because it's a self-sustaining thing, very self-sustaining, especially by choosing beer as your starting point. It self-sustains because beer provides workers with stamina, and stamina allows workers to gather more potatoes. It's like for example, depending on obviously on your worker because it's random. Now we're here. We're going to go to the worker. You can just use the NPC. He's usually quite close to the south entrance anyway, which is great because that's where all the farms are. So what you'll do is you'll walk over to him. You'll get off. You don't have to do this next bit because I'm just doing it so I can show you actually buying one, but that's not what I want. I want lodgings. So only certain things can be like lodgings. Horse ranch. Oh, stable slots. But yeah, so in general, once you can buy lodgings like you did your residence, and that allows you to have more workers. For example, there I've got a lodgings. But so you talk to this dude. You contract a worker, and it will say, "Do you want to contract a worker? Energy cost equals 5." What I can do actually is I'm going to, for purposes, I'm actually going to fire a worker and hire a new one. Yep. To show you. So you go into contract workers. It will come up with this. Click yes, and you'll get a worker. If you generally just go for the first one, you can look at the numbers and be like, yep, I definitely want something, or like there's other stuff. You can click view another, which will cost you more energy, which I'm going to do a couple of times. Energy regenerates over time anyway. If you get one with Okay, Nave, avoid those, especially. Human, yeah. I'm gonna just go for... I got one more roll of the dice, as it were. Haha, this is what we want. Grey is the base one, Nave workers. Later on in the sort of start, like the main quest line, you'll get a couple. They are trash. Don't worry about them. Forget they exist. Ignore them. Green ones are okay workers. They're kind of like the middle ground, and skilled are really good, actually, especially early on. Grab one of those. I'm gonna hire this dude. That is, and then he will show up in this list here. See, now he's here, and he's got simple work speed, simple C, which is a skill, which increases work speed. We'll close that for now. And the other important NPC within, sort of, I say, within the whole loop, is the storage keeper. Which you'll find. I know this guy off by heart because he's by the port. So no, as long as you head down the city, which is northeast on the map, which is weird, you can find him because every one of them other comes and hangs around, as you can see. So you can even wagons and stuff. So you just go up to him. Your warehouse is, and the game is lagging like shit. Breaking. Bloody typical. Hey. Give it a moment, it should kick in. Alright, as you can see, the game crashed, I've reloaded it, it's fine, we're all good. As you can see, your storage gets quite full of shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the potatoes. Oh, the potatoes. As well, yeah, just the potatoes, I think. That's all I need. But we need to clear some space, so I'll just take out those as well. So we've got some space. And what do you do? Okay, so the warehouse starts. Just 2 rows. Each storage building you own in the town adds 3 rows, 3 blocks. So I've got 3 storages. That's 9 extra blocks, which are these 2. That's, you'll be going here a lot, especially when the work has been done. That can bugger off. So what we'll do is we'll take our new worker, and you don't actually do anything from that worker screen yet. You want to open the map, and we go to log your farm. Click on there where it says potato farming. Click on the worker you want to do it, and it shows you the different times they'll take. This goblin worker works really like stupid fast. Anyway, let's go for this guy, and you can do that multiple times, and he'll just do it. That usually actually works. However, for this, we'll just do 1. And you click start work, and that's it. That worker, as you can see now on the map, that worker there, you can see him there, will now come over, farm your potatoes, come back and drop it off. That's literally it. You just keep doing that, and once they have each. Okay, let me get my words together. Each worker has stamina. Once the stamina runs out, the worker will stop working. He'll take a break, and you let that recharge. Goblins have less stamina but work quicker. Humans are in the middle, and giants are tons of stamina but work slow in relation. What we need to do, is we're going to take those potatoes we got earlier, and we're going to make some beer. We're going to get slaughtered. So you come into the tavern, talk to David. You can do this in any town as long as there's farming around. And what you want to do is buy 6 mineral water, 2 leavening agent, and 1 sugar per beer. I'm only going to make the 1 to show you, but you can mass produce it later. Which actually I'll show you afterwards. I'll show you just the 1, and I'll go back and buy tons and just mass produce. You go into your home, to your cooking thing. Right click on your potatoes. You need 5 potatoes. So it's 5 potatoes, 1 sugar, uh, 2 leavening agent, and 6 mineral water. That is for 1 beer. Then you click cook, and your person will hang about for about 10 seconds, you know, doing your cookie thing. And finally then, you'll get stuff like dish with poorly prepared ingredients, as well as beer. These you can trade in at the next town over, and they're awesome. It's like free stuff for learning to cook. And you'll get the main product, which is beer. Beer restores worker stamina by 2, and you can just sell the excess and keep your workers going. And that's literally it. That's it. You rinse, repeat this process, and that levels up your cooking. As you see, I am currently beginner 7, literally just from making beer. You rinse, repeat the process. If you want to make multiples, you can click. For example, I'm going to buy 60, which is 10. I'm going to make 10. So you just times everything by 10 if you're going to make 10. You know, simple math. So I've got enough to make 10 more beer, and you can. Once you sort of get onto the scale that I'm at, even further, I'll be honest, I've got quite a small scale compared to what I've seen. And once you've made it, it'll come up in your knowledge list here. So beer, you can then just click it and it adds it back, which is perfectly fine. And then you click continuous production, and then how many times you want to make it. So I'm going to make 10 beer. And what will happen is, once you hit the end of those 10 seconds and that beer is made, it will crack on the next one until you run out of ingredients. Or until you hit that 10. But you have to have empty slots in your inventory for it, which I don't have. Ha! So I'm going to get rid of a couple of goods, just bollocks. To clear some space, as it were. Continuous production. It says place enough ingredients for 1 batch. Don't put 50, 10, 20, 60 here. Bad plan. That will put it all in one and you waste all your money. And then just click 10 here. You want to, and your character will craft each individual one in a row. It'll be like, do the one, onto the second, onto the third, and keep going. And you can get there's quite a few different types of that. I get extra item. And sometimes you get multiple beer, you'll get multiple takeout foods, dish with poorly prepared, dish with extra ingredients, all that stuff. You will later, as you go, you'll get multiple. So you've got 2 beer there. It comes up, click control, over here in your chat box as part of the system. So if you watch that box when we finish cooking, it's a dish with more ingredients and beer. That's it. That's all you have to do. What we'll do is we'll let this cook though. Okay, we've run out of inventory space, so we'll leave the rest. But then what you can do is go outside your home and back to the merchant. You'll get used to talking to this guy. It's just straight up from where I live, and it's here. This person. Talk to him. Click marketplace. My registered. And you can just click register item. Right click your beer. You can either max the price, or min it. I usually min it so I can get it out of the way. Click confirm. And so, for example, I've got 15 beer. That's 15 grand sitting around. You just click register, and then press enter. It will then go onto your my registered list, and it's in the queue. And once it hits, and then once it's on the queue, in the queue, it will jump. People can then go and buy it in the marketplace. See, beer is quite common. So it kind of like prices of stuff goes up and down. People sell beer quite a lot, and people buy a lot of beer as well. So it's it's generally quite a good thing to do, and that's literally it. That is creating beer and such. That's all you do, and you rinse, repeat. You can get as you expand, you can get multiple workers. You can start clicking this button. Okay. You can even expand into other things, like you've got the coastal cave here. You can mine. And you can do that for other stuff. and that is generally the easiest way to start cooking and crafting. Hopefully this video has actually made sense to some people, and hopefully you enjoyed watching, and if it's helped you sort of learn something new. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll check out any more guides I put out, any more gameplay of this game. It's a great game. Check it out. And thank you very much, and I shall see you next time.